Okay.
There she is.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How do I get rid of me?
And there's Donald.
Morning, Donald.
Good morning, sir. How y'all doing this morning?
Good. I didn't hear back from Dr. Angion. Did you hear back from him?
Dr. Angie.
He's asleep.
Is that?
The president?
Oh, no, they're not. For Wednesday, right? For Wednesday?
Yeah, did you get my email?
Yeah. For Wednesday, yeah. I already put that on my calendar and set up a meeting with the other two persons we talked about as well.
Okay, I'll send him an email today to make sure he got it.
Okay, but if we need to change it, I'll change it.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
He said Wednesday was good. Veronica, did you see that email?
I did.
Okay. That was a surprise for us, so we're just trying to see what's going on.
Okay, so who is he with?
The university in Selma.
Okay.
But we'll fill you in on the details.
Okay.
We have the same questions. We have the same questions that you have by the look on your face.
Yeah.
So Donald and I, yeah, we were meeting.
I tried to do a little research on it, but I couldn't find anything. So I was like, okay. Chad is on. I saw him just log in. So let's see.
Let me text Victor and make sure that he got everything.
Okay.
Veronica, do you want me to just introduce myself and let you take it over, or what? How do you want to?
Sure, that's fine. I mean, I'm just going through the slides, and then there's Victor. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then
Good morning.
Donald can introduce Victor in a little bit, and then I think Christine is going to do the introduction of the DBEs, or I can do it either one. It doesn't matter. So.
All right. Well, it's 11. Then I'll go ahead and welcome everybody. My name is Sam Ghoston. I'm with the Mentor-Protégé Program, working with the team here. Thank you for taking our time.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Can you hear us, Chad? Can you hear us? Putting on his headphones.
We can hear you.
I think he can't hear us. Can you hear us?
Veronica, can you hear me?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Well, I can't hear you.
Okay. Turn your volume up. Of course, he can't hear me. Let me put it in the chat. Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Chad? The volume on your computer might be down. Let's see if we can get him. Oh, I heard it plug in. It's probably the volume. Does anybody have a cell phone that could text him? Did you check your volume?
Can you hear us now, Chad?
No.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Anthony.
Hey, Mr. Johnson. Yes,
Hello.
we can. You are on.
Thank you. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well, thank you.
Great.
Okay, I think Chad's going to try to come back in. It looks like he logged
Okay,
off.
we'll keep
Yeah.
moving.
Okay.
we're recording. So I'm gonna welcome everybody again. The purpose of this seminar is to make sure, from a DBE standpoint, if you need support in getting the bid in for next week's letting, that you know where all the resources are, and we can help you execute that. So I'm going to step aside now and turn it over to my team as they take you through the letting, and we'll try to get you out of here by 12 at the latest. So Ronica, I'm going to turn it over to you or Christine.
Okay, I got it. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for all of you to being on the line. We're going to introduce everybody, our new class for this contract year in just a little bit. First, we'll go through the letting slides. These are your contacts for ALDOT. On this slide, you'll see Ms. Walter Carr is the new head of DBE program. All of our contact information is below that. So, you know, if you need anything from us, you can always contact us. Next slide. These are the supportive services in the different regions, North Region, Alabama A&M, Central Region, ENS, and South Region, UWA. If there are any of you that are in the Central Region that have not heard from ENS for a while, I would suggest that you try to contact Mike. And if you don't make contact with him, I would let ALDOT know that he has not been in contact since Cynthia Matlock left his group. So I just would encourage you Central DBs to do that if you're not getting any services from ENS. Next slide.
1 second, sorry. It's Miss Sterling here from Alabama A&M.
Yeah.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone. If you just so happen to message Miss Barnes and she is delayed, and by delayed, I mean if you see more than 4 or 5 days go by and she hasn't answered you, feel free to email me. We pick up the slack off of each other. So what she misses, I try to pick up, and what I miss, she picks up.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Next slide. Okay, we'll go ahead and get into the letting slides. This is a pretty extensive project list for this month. There were a lot of these projects, though, that did not have DBE goals. That does not mean, you know, that the DBE shouldn't look at those. Because you know, obviously, if you bid on more, you have more opportunities to win jobs. But the ones we're going to go over are some that had high DBE goals and a high dollar value projects for you to look at. Next slide. There we go. First project, project 7 is in Lee County, 4% DBE goal. The bracket estimate there is about 2.1 to 2.6 million. There's a little bit of demolition. There is erosion control on this, hauling and guardrail. Your tentative bidders, Chilton Contractors, DJ Enterprises, Blunt Construction, and Chris Clark Grading and Paving. A lot of these projects this month are true just paving projects. So a lot of them don't have a lot of DBE work types on them, but we will talk about some other ways maybe you could make contacts with the prime contractors. Next slide. Project 16. There's a 6% DBE goal on this one. This is Jefferson County. For those in the middle part of the state, it's a fairly large job, 4.8 to 5.9 bracket estimate. There's demolition, there's hauling, there's erosion control on this project also, and there's new guardrail on this project. The 3 bidders are your major bidders in that Birmingham metro area: Dunn Construction, Mid-South Paving, and Wiregrass Construction. Next slide. Project 20 is in Limestone County in the northern part of the state. I know we don't have a lot of our DBEs in the northern part of the state this time, but this project has an 8% DBE goal, so worth looking at maybe to travel outside your area. Bracket estimates 3.2 to 3.9. This has demolition, hauling. This project also has bituminous scoring. I know that we have a DBE that does that, and guardrail. Tentative bidders, most of these are the ones you're going to see quite a bit on the North Alabama projects. Rogers Group, who purchased Reed Contracting. So you will see them listed now as Rogers Group, whereas before you might have been used to seeing Reed Contracting. Mid-South, SJ&L, general contractor, and Wiregrass Construction. SJ&L had done some smaller work in the area, but they've recently expanded. They're doing a lot of commercial work in the Huntsville area, and I have seen them bidding a lot more on the ALDOT side. Next project. Project 21 has a 6% DBE goal. This is in Madison County, North Alabama. Bracket 3.9 to 4.8. Demolition, hauling, guardrail, and erosion control. Same bidders as the last project: Rogers Group, Mid-South, SJ&L, and Wiregrass. Next slide. 22 is Lauderdale County. There's a 7% goal on this, one of the larger goals on the letting this time. Bracket estimates 1.7 to 2.1. Demolition, hauling, there is bituminous scoring on this one, and there's guardrail on this project. Mid-South and Rogers Group right now are the only two tentative bidders. Next slide. This project's Limestone County, still North Alabama. There were a lot of projects in North Alabama this time. 4% goal, 2.5 to 3 million. This is just a straight milling and paving, repaving job. So hauling is really about the only thing I can see that the prime contractors would use for their DBE goal, that 4% goal. So, you know, if you're in the hauling business in this area or could travel for this, the bidders are Rogers Group, Mid-South, SJ&L, and Wiregrass. Next slide. 27 is in South Alabama, Marengo and Mobile counties. This is kind of an interesting, I don't recall seeing ALDOT doing this. These are two separate projects in two separate counties that are paired together. And so you've got, when we get down to the bidders, you've got bidders from Mobile and then bidders from closer to the Marengo County area. So this is a little bit different for ALDOT, but there is a 6% DBE goal for the combined projects. The bracket estimates 2.7 to 3 almost 3.4. There's demolition, hauling, bituminous scoring. There is concrete on this project, some slope paving and some curb work, guardrail, erosion control. And then you see the bidders, H.O. Weaver and Mobile Asphalt from the Mobile area. And then ST Bunn, who is located in Tuscaloosa. I assume that they are bidding because they are close to that Marengo County job and would travel to the Mobile area if they win this project. Next project. 28 is Franklin County. There's a 6% goal on this, 2.5 to 3 million. Work types are there: demolition, hauling. There is bituminous scoring on this one, and guardrail. Mid-South and Rogers Group are the only two tentative bidders right now. Next slide. 39 is Limestone County, 5% goal. 2.1 to 2.6 bracket, demolition, hauling, bituminous scoring, guardrail. The same list of bidders for the North Alabama area. So if you travel to work in the North Alabama or in this area, you need to get to know these 4 bidders because they are bidding on all of the ALDOT projects: Rogers Group, Mid-South, SJ&L, and Wiregrass. And SJ&L is headquartered in Huntsville. Next slide. 46, Choctaw and Marengo counties. This is another one where there are 2 projects paired together. It's a 5% DBE goal, about 2.9 to 3.5 million. There's demolition, hauling, bituminous scoring, guardrail, and there is erosion control on this project also. Same bidders as the other double project: H.O. Weaver and Mobile Asphalt in the Mobile area, and S.T. Bunn out of Tuscaloosa. Next slide. Okay, that was the end of the project slides, but I will tell you if there are any other projects that as a DBE that you've seen that you're interested in, please let us know. I'm happy to go through any project with anybody to help you look at it, see what the work types are. ALDOT has a listing on their website of their projects from December, projected projects from December through April of 2022. I've taken that list and it's broken out by counties. So I have taken it, and for each specific DBE, I've gotten your county that you're in and the surrounding counties, and I'm going to send that to you this afternoon. So expect an email from me, and it will be a listing of the projects, ALDOT projects projected from now until April and broken out by county. And then there'll be a second attachment that will be the entire list. So it's every county in Alabama, every project that's projected to be on a letting from now until April. If I were, the DBEs, I think you just need to go through those lists. If you are positive you're not going to travel outside of your area, then you can just look at the first attachment that just has the counties around you. If you think you might be willing to travel, then look at that second attachment that has the entire list of projects, especially for like Mr. Jones in the Rebar. You will just, you can look at all the bridge projects from the listing. So I will send that this afternoon. So just be on the lookout for that, for an email from me that's got a couple of attachments and a lot of information with it. Christine, do you want to introduce everybody since you've been talking to them, or do you want me to continue? How do you want to do that?
Sorry, I can't, I was having some technical issues here. I couldn't find the button, the unmute button. You can go ahead and do it, Veronica.
Okay. Hang on just one second. Let me find. Sorry. I'm looking for my list that you sent me this morning. That
okay, well, I'll begin. So I'll begin. We have Elm Services, Burns Environmental, Innovative Contracting Services, Jackson Prime, Strata, and JJ Rebar. And I'll tell you a little bit about each one. So Liz Mason is the owner of Elm Services. They're a commercial site work general contractor and subcontractor, specializing in earthwork, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, site utilities, and storm water management in the Birmingham area. They've been in business since 2011 and include among their services commercial site work, excavation and grading, demolition, land clearing, storm sewer installation, and water drainage solutions. underground piping, utility installation, and road installation. And Liz Mason is on the line. Liz, feel free to chime in and give us some more information about your company.
Well, I just want to thank y'all for the opportunity. You know, we've been in business for about 10 years, but we're definitely looking for opportunities to, you know, grow and expand our business and our market. So we're excited about the opportunities to work with ALDOT. And, you know, I just think that we're really looking to just become more proficient at ALDOT bidding process and to improve some of our marketing and maybe some of our safety training, and definitely try to, you know, market ourselves better to, you know, prime GCs that are bidding on ALDOT projects, and kind of looking for, you know, we operate in the Birmingham area. So, you know, with heavy equipment, we don't travel real well. So we're really kind of focused in that Birmingham Jefferson area.
Okay, thanks. Chad Burns established Burns Environmental in 2013. He's a certified professional in erosion and sediment control, storm water quality, and safety. Burns Environmental specializes in worksite hydroseeding and erosion control. They offer the highest level of safety with a commitment to zero harm standard for the site, employees, and customers. Burns is located in Opelika, but performs work around the state and beyond. And Chad is on the line. So Chad.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. We're definitely thankful for the program and thankful for the opportunity to participate. ALDOT has become a large portion of our portfolio. We've been at it for a few years full time, and then recently started to work in DeKalb County with Wiregrass. So we're thankful for that. And then just picked up another project with Wiregrass. So Veronica, thank you for all the overview that you gave us with the upcoming lettings and such. So we're thankful to participate and thankful for what you provide through this program, and we hope to make good on the opportunity.
Thanks, Chad. Innovative Contracting Services, located in Mobile, is owned and operated by Anthony Johnson. It was established in 2019. ICS offers heavy hauling services to commercial and construction companies in the Mobile regional area. Their services include material delivery to construction work sites, construction and debris removal. In addition to their fleet of 5 trucks, excavator, and skid steer, they own and operate a dirt pit, which means they can offer, okay, I may be misspeaking here, same-day delivery of dirt to local customers, and I will let Anthony clarify that for you.
Thank you, Christine, and thank you, Veronica. Special thanks to the ALDOT program for allowing us to be part of this program in this 22 class. We are a fairly new company. We've been in business since 2019. And we have acquired, right now we're at about 5 trucks that we're hauling. And we specialize in the highway construction, asphalt of, we've worked projects such as ALDOT Interstate 10, Interstate 65, various projects in the Mobile and Baldwin County area. We have recently acquired a dirt pit that allows us to service the construction industry as well, in addition to a lot of the contracting that's going on in the Mobile and Baldwin County area. Again, special thanks to you, ALDOT. We look forward to being part of this program and building and growing. Our primary focus is on bidding and estimating, getting more knowledge on that side of it that will help us to bid and estimate more jobs. So we look forward to working with the staff and learning more about the program.
Great, thank you. Okay. I know you guys can't tell I'm reading this because I sound like such a natural. Jackson Prime Construction, based near Montgomery, is owned by Danny Jackson. They do underground utility, clearing and grubbing, grading, excavation, and concrete flat work. They were established 2 years ago, but Mr. Jackson Jr. and Sr. together bring over 30 years of experience and expertise to the business. Their portfolio includes the Montgomery Whitewater Project, work for the Tuskegee Utilities Board, and MDG, among others. And over to you, Mr. Jackson.
Yes, thank you, ALDOT, for having us, bringing us aboard. We really look forward to the opportunity. I'm Danny Jackson Jr., along with my dad, Danny Sr. We own Jackson Prime Construction. We're near Montgomery area. We're definitely looking to expand north to the north area of the state, even west over in the Tuscaloosa, Marengo County areas. We have a few pieces of equipment: skid steer, dump truck. We got a big excavator, 70,000 ton, and we have a 70,000 pound excavator and a smaller 8-ton excavator as well. We primarily focus on site work, dirt work, underground structures, drainage, concrete flat work. We currently are working on with the city and county of Montgomery on the Whitewater project. It's been a great experience, and we're looking forward to doing business with ALDOT going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Strata Professional Services was established in 2003. They offer a wide range of professional construction and design related services. They do work in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, North Carolina, and Florida. Their transportation industry work includes civil, site, and utility work. And I believe Ms. George is on the line.
Christine, I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't see Dorothy on.
Okay. And then lastly, JJ Rebar. Oops, hang on, sorry. JJ Rebar was established in 2020 by owner LaJoey Jones. They have DBE certifications in Alabama and Mississippi. Mr. Jones has over 20 years of experience and applies his craftsman level integrity and skill to all JJ Rebar projects in roadway, highway, and vertical construction. JJ Rebar has experience in government, municipal, and commercial construction and is fully insured and bonded. And Mr. Jones, I believe, is on. Would you like to say a few words?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, how y'all doing? I thank ALDOT for having me on and more work. And I would like to have more training in estimating and bidding. And just like to thank y'all, and I like to try to get more work and try to do more business.
Yeah. Well, welcome everybody to the program. We're happy to give you this platform to promote your business. And that's all I have, Veronica.
Okay. Victor, I don't know, did we have any slides for that, or Donald, are you on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, you want to just introduce Victor and then let him talk a little bit about what products of his we are going to be using with the DBEs?
Yes, I can do that. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Veronica, can everybody hear me? I'm sorry.
I can.
Okay.
Can you turn it up just a little bit?
Okay, hold on 1 second, please. Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so before I introduce Victor, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we're doing what we're doing right now. As you all know, the infrastructure bill has passed. And what that means is the state budget is going to increase, but not just the state. We're looking at cities, counties, commercial. So what we want to do is make sure all our DBEs are ready to take advantage of these opportunities. And so what we're going to try to do is work with the DBEs, what I call inside out. What does that mean? We want to look at you guys' capability and your capacity. right? And then we're going to focus on those items in our program to help increase you guys' capability, of course, and increase you guys' capacity. And so with that being said, what we're going to do is give you guys tools and things to use that's transformational that can help you guys do those things. We want to focus based on specifically what it is that you do. For an example, for you guys that do just hauling, tools that's for hauling. For you guys that do excavation, tools for excavation, right? For you guys that do rebar, same thing. And for you guys that are interested in being a GC, right? And so when we do those things, the next thing we have to do then is, well, how can we do that in such a way where you guys can work and still learn? Because you don't want to be stuck in doing training and work is going on, right? Because we know you guys are small business, you wear 5, 10 hats within your organization, right? And so we did is condense those things down to like bonding, access to capital, your workforce management, operating procedures, and technology, if you will. And so in doing that, the tools that we start with, the fundamental tools like estimating and things of that nature, we partner with people like Victor, who's on the phone right now, with Tyler Construction Engineering. And they run the Tennessee program, the whole statewide for DOT, for Tennessee, right? And what he has done is develop specific tools for different trade groups and GCs that can help you guys estimate and things of that nature. And so we're inviting him on to make sure that you guys, again, have access to everything you guys need to grow your business within this. Because the whole idea around the ALDOT program and DB program is not just for you guys to be bidding and winning ALDOT work, but to grow your business outside of the marketplace, as they call it. What that means is doing commercial work and work with other agencies and other companies so you can really have a sustainable business. That's the whole concept. So what we want to be able to do while you guys in our program is create an environment where you can go from 0 to 100, if you will, within a certain period of time. And so Victor's is a integral part in that, because a lot of tools that he has developed is specific for that reason and specific to the trades that you guys are performing. Without further ado, Victor is on the line. Victor, if you don't mind, can you please just give him a little background of your organization and what you've been doing over the past several years, some of the technology you guys have developed, and some of the tools that you guys have shared with us that we're going to share with them for them to use as we start doing the training and so forth moving forward in this program year.
Okay, great. Appreciate that, Dom. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Ronika, Christine, can I share my screen?
Hey, Victor,
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Are you? Okay.
I will, give me a second, Victor, and I will transfer the share screen to you.
Okay.
Okay. I've made you a co-host. You should be able to share your screen now.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, I'll start with that. Can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. Let me first start by saying thank you for inviting me to UAH and Donald for reaching out. Glad to be of some service. Hopefully the tools I have can be beneficial to the program. I will say this. The group that you just introduced in the program is great. As a matter of fact, I guess after I get through, I'm going to invite all of them to come to Tennessee. This is a great, look like a great group of companies that have the services that Tennessee could use as well.
Hey, Victor, can you move adjust your microphone so that it's a little closer to your mouth?
1 second. Do I need to how's that?
I think that's better.
So maybe I'll just speak a little louder. I'll speak a little louder, and if I get low, just say up. Just interrupt me and just let me know if I need to speak a little bit louder. All right, now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, before I do that, let me just look one more time and see if I need to make one more adjustment before I get started. Okay. Let's see. All right. How about? I'm trying.
How about that? That's better?
That's terrific. Thank you.
Now we've got you.
Okay. All right. Technology challenge is coming through. Okay. All right. Let's my background, again, my name is Victor Tyler, president of Tyler Construction Engineers. I'm located in Nashville, Tennessee. Been in business since 2002, but been in the construction and engineering industry since I graduated from the University of Tennessee in 1982. And so I got many years of experience on the design side, experience on the construction side, as a construction engineer, as an estimator, project manager, design roads, design intersections and traffic signals. So, but I also have background in military construction when I used to work for the Army Corps of Engineers years ago. Stepped into the consulting realm, and when I got into the consulting side and started doing estimating and construction schedules for contractors, I found out that the smaller firms, contractors, specialty firms, were not capturing all their costs. And so when I got into real deep into helping firms, small businesses, especially that are doing DOT and infrastructure and public works type of work, I started developing bid templates. And these bid estimating templates were a great teaching tool, but there also was a tool that you could use to bid with. And during that time, it also took time to develop a book, which I published back in 2010, called How to Estimate Road Construction Accurately. And in that book, we go from all the way on the bid template from, how do you estimate labor? How do you estimate the materials and equipment, any subcontractor involvement might have, and other direct costs. And then what I found to be probably the missing link in a lot of businesses was a lot of small contractors did not understand this right here. How do you calculate these numbers? And in the book that I have, it explains one way to do it. And the way that I show it, I always tell everyone it's inaccurate. It's not the only way, but it's a way that a small business can increase the accuracy in making sure their costs are covered. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on a lot of things, but I just want to show you exactly what one of these templates, a couple of these templates look like. This one here is, and most of these templates, I either had a client or I developed it on my own. So a lot of the information is as accurate as it can be, but when you have a template, you need to input your information and not what a book says or what someone says, but what you actually do and your prices. So for instance, you had a stripping and stockpile topsoil, and the big quantity was 1,000 cubic yards, and you got to know what's your production rate for moving and stripping and stockpiling topsoil. You can get that out of books, but more than likely you need to get it out of your own operation. So sometimes you've got to do time and motion studies when you're trying to put more accuracy in your bidding. So let's say there was a big quantity of 1,000 cubic yards. I put in a production rate that I know my crew can achieve because the ground is level or the ground is soft soils or whatever. You put put that number in there, and then the hours that you're going to work. And then the template calculates the number of days, the crew hours and the man hours. Now the crew hours and the man hours is based on, you know, who you have on the site. This one I just said I put a foreman, a laborer, equipment operator, a truck driver, and then I said, you know, I gave them the quantity of that's on the site, you know, whatever. And also have the rate that I'm going to pay them, the base rate that I pay these individuals. And then the formula that I have in the template will calculate the amount of pay based on the quantity of this classification, plus the rate, plus the hours that they're out there in the field, okay? No materials on stripping, so we don't have anything. Equipment, I named the equipment, the quantity of each I need, and my rate per hour for the equipment. Now, this equipment rate, again, is your rate, or it could be a rental rate. If you own the equipment, you need to create a tablet of what your equipment is costing you. And so that you will rent your equipment to your jobs, just like we did here. And I'll show you a quick example of that. And the same thing occurs. The quantity of the equipment, the rate, and then it extends out here based on the time that you're out there in the field doing the work. Here is another, you know, how do we capture other costs? I purchase cups and ice and water per day. I just, you know, we're gonna be out there, go back up here 2 days. I'll put 2 days in, and usually it costs me $15 a day to buy this stuff. Miscellaneous supplies, you know, could be safety, could be whatever it is that you purchase on when you do a project. And is there any equipment move-in fees, any dump fees? You put that in there. Now, a lot of people, well, how do I know this in advance? Well, a lot of this is received from your accounting records. And what you want to look at is actual, estimated versus actual. And when you look at the details of your actual, if it's coded correctly, and when I say coded correctly, my team makes sure that our clients are in a job cost accounting format. And you got to set up your books, your chart of accounts in a job cost format that matches the industry and the way you do business. And that's where we get some of these items here, as well as here, where we get the payroll taxes and all that. Well, guess what? It's in your accounting books too. Or you can get a lot of this stuff from your insurance broker, your accountant, and this need to be calculated too. These numbers are not thrown together. These are calculated numbers, and I'll show you how we do that. And everybody heard of office overhead and profit and bond. All these rates here are covered in my book. Like I said, it's covered real quickly, but as long as you understand the process and be consistent with it, this is fairly easily accomplished. One of the things I've learned, and hopefully you understand, that I use a multi-rate markup, not just one markup, multi-rate, and there they are right there. One of the things I found out over the years and is that a lot of the small contractors was not capturing their overhead and supervision rate. And when I look back and do a lot of analysis, a lot of contractors find it, well, I'm losing 5%, 6%, 10%, 1%, 3%. Well, when it came down to doing those financial analysis, it came down to this figure here. Whatever that overhead rate was for field supervision was not being captured because it wasn't put into the bid documents. And that became a pretty interesting statistics that we need to separate these markups out so we know that everything has a cost tied to it. And so in these bid templates, you see where I have a total sub cost, and I got a cost that I'm taking care of Uncle Sam, cost that's taking care of the, it could be your foreman, could be salary, or it could be a project manager. Probably here could be their truck. It could be some tools. It could be porta potty, could be some fees or whatever. Overhead, home office overhead, of course, that's taking care of the office. This is, and the profit is wherever you want it to be. Well, 8%, 5%, you know, whatever you have as a goal for your business, you put that in. Now, what we call these right here, is cost recovery. We're trying to recover our costs for doing this job. And so these are our markups that we apply to the cost. Now, this labor burden is only applied to the labor. But anyway, a lot of my templates do this. Another one I have is concrete sidewalk, same thing. And here we put aside, we put notes. I'm adding 15% waste to this. As you go down, you know, I'm adding 15% waste. What's the edge form? What's my edge form's cost per linear foot? Again, that's something that you put in. What these templates are guides to get you to think, to capture the cost that goes into these jobs. The equipment, same thing. I list every equipment that I can, even the miscellaneous small tools. And the tools are per labor, you know, per labor in the field. I'm going to capture, how did I come up that figure? You got to look at your accounting records. It comes from your accounting records. And we teach our clients how that's captured as well. And the same thing. And here we do the same thing down here, nothing different. Another one is road and drainage excavation, same thing. You got the quantity, you got your production rate, the hours that you're going to pay your individuals in the field, and this calculate the amount of time to do this amount of work. And again, same thing. So the templates are nothing rocket science. It's just repetitive inputting these costs to be accurate. I'm going to show you a couple more things and I'll stop with this. Is also, I mentioned about, you know, if I was talking about the equipment, you know, where we find these equipment rates. Well, if you own the piece of equipment, there's a template that we have for equipment ownership and operating. And so it starts with how many hours you're going to be operating per year, and pretty much everything's self-explanatory. The purchase price, the salvage value, you get all this in. This information is easily gathered from your salesperson or the insurance person and your accountant, and they come up with an ownership rate. And then after you get an ownership rate, you get an operating rate, which you see the fuel cost, the fuel consumption rate, the cost per year. All this information, all these costs here, you can get from your accounting records again. And so what I'm trying to emphasize, accountants and estimators need to talk. Estimators need to start learning how to read the profit and loss statement because it becomes a very important part of your bidding process. So in the equipment, right here, this example is a triaxial dump, 16 cubic yards, and we got an operating cost, and we got the ownership costs, operating costs, total it together, $46 an hour for this particular example. Base wage for the operator, 25. And then I'm going to have 15% payroll. Again, these are calculated. These are not guessed. These are calculated. And you'll see that that dump truck with a 5%, I should be charging $86 an hour or $87 an hour, whatever the case may be. That's one calculator. Another calculator that I have is the truck haul rate. where you put in the haul distance, the quantity of material to be used, the production rate, the shift in hours, whatever, how many hours is going to be in that truck, and then it will calculate the number of trucks that you need based on the quantity and the production and the city miles and the highway miles and the average speed, the load times, dump times, and you, like I said, you can read all this, and then you put in your truck and driver rate, whatever it will. We came up with what, 86? Well, hey, you know, I'm bidding, I'm gonna put in 90, even though I calculated. And now I got a rate for the rate per unit measure. Also, I got a per load cost. I got a total haul cost, and then I have a rate per mile if I wanted that. Another calculator that I created was the overhead. Now, this is the tool that I used to help my clients come up with the markup rate for the labor, the job site supervision, and office overhead. And you see here, your desired profit rate. It's whatever you want to do. And of course, you got to put in the rate for your surety. You know, what's that bond rate? And you want to be consistent to use these rates on each and every job you perform, period. Once you calculate it correctly and accurately, you want to be consistent all the way through. And then sometime during a year, you want to relook at those things if something materially changed in your operations. But basically, if you look here, I'm just taking information from my profit and loss statement. Again, the accountant gives the estimate, or the estimator gets it from the accountant, and they input this into this calculator. And so this calculates, so you see it's just like the P&L. You got your direct costs, labor burden costs. Now this, again, this is done in a job cost format where you can pick all these cost items out. And so there's a certain way that your chart of accounts need to be designed. And so that's why the estimator and the accountant needs to talk, so that you can capture these costs to accurately reflect how you're going to bid and be really prepared to make a profit in each and every job you do. One of the things that I'm working on now, I'm trying to finish is, Donald saw this, but I've done some more things and I need to do some update. Not just the templates that I have and the calculators, but also working on a bid sheet that looks like the DOT bidding. If you look at the estimated quantity list, I have a template developed for all these right here. And I'm still developing others as we speak. For example, let's say that I have all this developed. I'm going to bid on the items that I have quantities for. So I'm going to tell my sheet, just show me the items that I have a bid that I'm going to bid on. And you see that they're automatically filled in. Well, let's go back. Let's say I'm removal of pipe. I'm going to go to the detail sheet. Now, this is my new sheet that I'm looking to develop for sale. And so here's the detail. 125 feet of pipe. I can do 200 feet per day in an 8-hour day. Let's change that to, and all of a sudden I go down here, make sure everything is correct. I don't worry about this too much because this should pretty much be set. Again, this is just summarizing everything. I go back to my bid sheet and there I'm ready to bid, but I have to review each one of these categories of work. And then, like most contractors, before I submit that bid, I want to review every line item. So as I review every line item, now I can look at it and have direct cost summary, overhead, got my overhead allowance, profit bond, and just looking at something and say, you know what, this particular item and this item I'm working at the same time. And so I don't need job site overhead because I'm already out there. So I need to make an adjustment since I'm already out there. And we teach this to our clients, you know, so we take out that part that's already there so we can have a competitive bid. And just look at this number, look at these two numbers here. They change all of a sudden. This was my original bid. This is my adjusted bid based on some bid construction information that I had that I want to be competitive with. Or it can be the same thing. I said, you know what? I need to add a little extra money to that because I know something's going to happen. Then all of a sudden I go back and it's adjusted on my bid sheet as well. Donald, I'll stop there. Like I said, we'll get a quick overview about bidding process. And main thing we want, estimating bidding, we want to make it automated as much as possible for small businesses, and to not only make things automated using these tools, but also to become more and more accurate. I'll stop there as I continue to develop these things, and hopefully I'm invited to one of the classes that I can come and spend and just sit down and listen to all you guys talk and discuss the classes that y'all will be attending in the future. That's all I got for right now. Thanks again. Thanks everyone for inviting me, especially Ronika and Donald, and special thanks to Alabama A&M and University of West Alabama for continuing to involve me in the program. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to add a little bit to that. So again, one of the main things we're trying to do for our DBEs in a collaborative way is make sure we all singing from the same sheet of music, if you will, and teaching the same thing. But most importantly, give you guys tools that you can use that day after the workshop is done to better your business, right? And the second thing is to be able to get it to the point where it's automated and repeatable, meaning that you don't constantly have to reinvent the wheel, right? And the last thing, which is most importantly, I always end and begin my training seminars with this quote: the language of business is the financial. Guys, you got to get you a good accounting system, and you got to get you a good accountant and a good bookkeeper, right? And we have tools and templates and data and stuff like that we can use, but there's nothing more important than having your own actual data based on how your crews and your company operate. We can teach you these things or whatever, but we've got to get real data from you, from the field and so forth. And we'll help you through all those things, right? But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we want to be able to, when we're done with the organization, it's transformational. So when these projects start coming out, you know what your capacity is, right? You know what your capabilities are. And you can get into these new markets and things of that nature and grow your business. Because what we do not want to happen is what's going on right now is like we get these new large capital projects coming out in Alabama that we haven't had in our lifetime. And then in the next 5 years or so, we're still in the same predicament we're in before the projects came in. We want to see material change in the DBEs and how they bid and win work at ALDOT and other projects as well. And that's what this is all about. It's about building you guys from the inside out.
Hey, Donald.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Marvin.
No, that's okay. We're getting close to 12 o'clock, so I don't want to hold everybody much longer. But I would like to just mention to the DBEs that we have purchased Victor's estimating workbook and a lot of their templates. We are going to give access to our DBEs to those. So we will either do training. We haven't decided if we'll do it one-on-one or if it'll be a group setting, but just know that those templates are going to be made available to you.
Hey, Ronika.
Yes.
Can we get Victor to come do a workshop first and along with that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what Donald and I have been talking about, to have, the person that created them in the room so that he can, explain them the way that, and tell the DBEs how they were intended to be used. Also, like Victor said, he is creating new templates, and he will need people to use those and give feedback. And we would be happy if the DBEs would agree to that, to use his new templates and, give him feedback, tell him what they like, don't like, how they could use those best. So we want to kind of develop that relationship also.
Yeah, and I heard Liz say that she's trying to, evaluate her estimating process. So I think a tool like what Victor just showed is really a game changer for a lot of DBEs. Even if they got something similar, but it's based on our experience that they, Donald, we try to make that process repeatable of estimating. If we could get each one of the DBEs to complete that tool, and now with our relationship with the prime contractors and Mentor-Protégé Program, they can give us feedback about where we're leaving money on the table and where we might be outbidding ourselves. And then we can refine that, I guess, as DBEs going forward. So I want to personally thank you, Victor, for sharing that knowledge. Because Donald and I and Ronica and Christine, we have a very simplified tool of that, but it's not that detailed. But yeah, I just want to make sure the DBEs on the line make sure, and I'm sure they do. They know the intellectual property of what you just shared with them. To me, that's a game changer. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so we will be getting that scheduled in the next little bit with everybody, so that you'll have access to the templates and to the workbooks. We don't just want to send them out because we really would like for you to have background with them, and to have someone go through them with you. So we will start getting that scheduled. So just look for that coming up. Does anybody on the line have any announcements or need any immediate help with anything?
Oh,
Hey, this is Danny Jr. I got a quick question. A lot of times, in particular, I'm thinking about the SBA set-aside projects. They show a engineer's estimate, and the quantities are there as well. I find myself going back through the quantities, and in some instances, I have a greater quantity, or I think that I have to do more work than what's shown to actually perform or leave the product on the ground that is being asked for. So what do you all say, or what do you all think about the actual quantity sheets that comes from the department?
Okay, Monica, I'll take that one. There's fine print on all of the ALDOT quantities and things of that nature. You have to verify yourself, right? So the rule of thumb is you always go and verify. You may have more, you may have less, but you use the actual verified quantities, because you're still responsible for the quote that you give them. If you say you're going to do it for $1 million, they expect you to do it for $1 million, whether they left something quantities off or not. That's why you have to visit the job site, look at the drawings and all that. Those quantities are put there, those internet estimates are put there, but that's just what they are, estimates. You still have to verify your quantities. You still have to do that. And they usually state that in the I say the small print, but it's in the spec book that you verify all your quantities and things of that nature by looking at the drawings and doing the site visit and so forth. So you still have to verify. So sometimes you will have more than what they have displayed on the actual bid sheet itself.
Right. So what I guess where I'm going with this is, I understand everything you're saying. I appreciate that. If I go to the general contractor and say, hey, look, I know you're used to $86 a truck, but these certain circumstances is gonna rev me up to about 95, 96, somewhere closer to 100. And I understand, but I guess I'm asking the question just for clarity. These guys understand that, right? I don't want to be lowballed because I'm a DBE and because I'm new to construction in the state of Alabama as an owner.
Typically speaking, if it's a good general contractor, usually they have already estimated the job anyway. They know exactly how much it's going to cost, correct? And that's part of the relationship too, if you will. So your costs are your costs, irrespective of what they're saying as relates to what they think the job will cost. I mean, your costs are unique to you, right? The question becomes is, once you give them your estimate, is it a solid estimate based on your cost structure? If it is, it is. So if your bid is too high, your quote is too high, then they'll use someone else if they think it's too high. But more than likely, if that relationship is there and your costs are good and your workmanship is good, usually if it's within 5 to 10% of what they're doing, most of the time they're using, because they're more worried about the job itself and performance than they are some of those costs. Now, if you 30% over or something like that, that's a different story. But usually, if you do a good job of estimating when to break out, you talk to the prime, you have a good relationship with the estimating, so forth like that. Because we've had cases where the estimate will go back to the DB and say, hey, did you include X, Y, and Z? Because the number was quote unquote too low. And they say, oh no, I didn't. And boom. That's the kind of relationship we try to foster with the prime contractors, so you can have that kind of back and forth, if you will.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let me add just one thing, because you're right. If you find and you qualify your bid, I mean, that's a good discussion, and let him understand that you really know this job, and you have a price as such because of this, thus, and so. If it's a contractor that you really, really want to work with, and I've done it before where a client of mine was having trouble negotiating work, and I went to the meeting with them, and they were talking about, well, your cost is too high, and blah, blah, blah. So, well, we got this, this, and this, and that's why it's here. He said, well, and then what I did was I reached in my briefcase at that time, pulled out the template and let them look at it. And they accepted his bid. I did that, I don't know how many times in the past 15 years. If they see that you have reason, it's reasonable and it's defendable, they can't knock your cost. Your cost is what it is. But I wouldn't do that every time. It's just it's to those primes, those GCs that you really want to work with and say, this is how I calculated my cost. You can't have this sheet. I'll just let you look at it. And that's how I can calculate it. And when they see that, most of the time the conversation is over. I've rarely seen a negotiation I've been in, and I shared that bid template, whatever bid template might have been. It usually stops the conversation. Just something to think about as you go forth in that, because your cost is your cost.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, Donald Mills at UWA or Natoya at A&M, do you guys have anything upcoming or need to make any announcements?
We're Monica, we're currently finalizing our workshop and training template. We are doing, in partnership with Mars, a tax workshop, and we'll be finalizing that this week, so we'll get that out to you.
Okay, great. We've got a couple of DBEs in that Mobile area, so they may be interested in that.
And the same for A&M.
Okay, thanks, Natoya. If we don't have anything else, like I said, look for an email from me today with the predicted ALDOT projects from now through April, which would give you an idea of what kind of work and how much work is coming up with ALDOT, so you could look at what you want to bid on. Victor, thank you so much for joining us, and we will be getting with you to discuss doing a workshop with our DBEs. Dr. Golston, you have anything? Okay, he's waving us off. Thanks, everybody. We're a few minutes after 12. We appreciate you being with us. Like I said, if there's any DBE on the call that needs us, just email us or give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. Talk to everybody later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Thank you.
Thank you.